So if you need to anchor some stuff down, the simplest, cheapest, and there's a good chance you already have it option is a normal electric drill like this with a hammering function. You can see this drill, we can set this up on the Milwaukee one-key system for some customized action. It can drill, it can screw, and it's got a hammering function as well. Now this is nice because I already had this drill, didn't have to go out and get anything else. The downside is that, you know, you look at the mechanism between a larger rotary hammer like this and just the physical size of that compared to this drill. You can see that this is a much smaller, much less capable system. But for the last thing I used it for, anchoring down an air compressor and building sort of a lean-to, if you will, extension onto the side of my shop so I don't have to listen to the compressor run constantly. It was great. Maybe 10 or so half-inch holes, worked like a charm. But going from a hammer drill like this to a rotary hammer like these, you know, you get a much larger action in the tool itself. It's a lot more powerful. It is infinitely more durable. It's a lot more capable. It's just all around a much larger step up. Like I said, this is good for about half-inch material. This rotary hammer is rated at, I believe, 1 inch, and this one is about 1 9/16 or so. So it's, as you can see, a much larger difference in power. Now, the main thing to understand what the difference is between a hammer drill and a regular drill is when you're drilling through metal, wood, PVC, whatever, you know, it's just a straight motion, straight into the thing, straight around, no vibration or anything, and it's just, the bit just spins kind of like this. With a hammer drill, what happens is there's a mechanism inside of this, or, you know, rotary hammer as well, and so instead of the bit just turning around straight and smooth, it's going brrrr, like that. And what this does is it chips the concrete out, whereas if you're drilling through steel or wood or something, you get those nice straight long chips, and if you're drilling through concrete, you get that kind of fine powdery dust. Now that's basically a really quick rundown of these three types of tools. This is the cheap way to go. You probably already have one. I bought a different drill that I used in the shop just as a regular electric drill, and it had a rotary hammer, it had a hammer drill function on it, and I probably owned it for 3 or 4 years before I ever even used that. This one, like I said, great for smaller stuff. This is probably the most cost-effective option here. This is relatively affordable, so to speak. And this is well within the reach of many people with any type of serious DIY or smaller commercial aspects in mind. I'm actually going to put this on my service truck because a week or 3 ago I was stuck on a job somewhere. My job was to come out and weld something which wasn't assembled, and it wasn't assembled because whoever's job it was to drill the holes for this thing never did. And as much as I like sitting in my truck doing absolutely nothing for hours at my full rate while they tried to figure out what was going on, I thought it would be nice if I could offer my customers a little more capability. Now, what's really nice about rotary hammers like this, these both have 4 functions on them. You can see we've got our hammering function here. We've got our chiseling, if you will, so to speak, function here. This is our hammer drill, you can see, because, you know, hammer drill. And then what's really cool is you can get just a drilling mode as well without the hammering action. So I can use this to drill through steel, wood, or what have you, with the help of a chuck like this, which just pops into the shank. Now, one of the great things about a rotary hammer like this is that a lot of them will offer a mode which is only drilling, not hammer drilling. So you can use it for the same things you use a conventional electric drill for, which in this case is running one of these hole saws. So we'll take our hole saw here. This is a German-made standard keyless chuck that I picked up. It can only do so many things at once here. We'll just stick our hole saw in there, fit it into the end of this tool just like we would a regular masonry bit. Pops right in. I'm going to rotate this around a little bit. Let's see, we want this approximately here. Don't know where our regular oil is. So we got a can of WD-40 that halfway works. More oil. Great. Slug fell out and everything, so we need a second hole about here. I have a lot of control over RPMs with this tool, and unlike a lot of regular just electric drills, much like for when you're drilling through steel, concrete also, you need low RPMs and a lot of torque, and that's what these tools offer. Man, how did I ever make it this many years without one of these things? So smooth and so powerful. One of the other many uses for a tool like this is using it with a chisel attachment like this one here for all sorts of different jobs. A buddy of mine who does more mobile welding than I do, he keeps one of these on his truck and he refers to it as his electric chipping hammer. Anytime you're doing a lot of plasma or thermal cutting on a piece of material, you got the slag on here which has to come off. A lot of other people involved in a lot of other lines of work, they'll use these to scrape up tile, things along those lines. It's definitely one of those tools with a pretty much endless list of possible uses. It's just pretty much instant. It's incredibly powerful. That would have been a chore with a hammer. This would be pretty much impossible with a traditional manual hammer. Look at that. Wow. I knew it was going to work well, but that is incredible. It launches the stuff across the building. Ow! What's really cool is these rotary hammers, they use what's referred to as the SDS Plus chuck system. There's also an SDS Max system for equipment even larger than this. And the way it works is really quite ingenious. There's 4 slots on these drill bits, if you will. 2 slots, well, drill bit, chuck, whatever you're putting in here. 2 of these slots are shorter, the other one is longer like this. So the way it works is you line up those long slots, and this gives you your inward motion. And then there's a pair of detents in there which grip down on the smaller slots and keep it from pulling out. It's very sturdy, it's very strong, and let's try this out. So we'll just drill this first hole with the hammer drill function on this cordless drill, just so we can kind of get a comparison between these 3 drilling machines here. Hear that hammering action. As you can see, this is taking all day. Let's try it with a rotary hammer. Another great thing about these rotary hammers is they both come with a dead stop like this, which will sort of help us get our depth close to right. You can see this is just going to butt up against the concrete, stop us from going too far. Exponentially faster. That was, like I said, there's really no comparison. The hammer drill, it's great if you have to do a few holes. For a cordless drill, it's remarkable that they're able to build that level of capability into it. But for really getting a lot of stuff done, nothing beats a rotary hammer. This is gonna be cozy. Getting in here with all my welding electrodes and toxic spiders and whatnot. Now for around the shop, it's not a big deal to run an extension cord, but for anything mobile or on the road, there's a lot of battery powered options like this out there as well. Also, we have LEDs, which is nice for working in a dimly lit corner like this one. Now you just gotta blow all this dust out of here. Inch hole should just pretty much go straight down in there, might require a little bit of persuasion. We gotta get this started. so we can pull that center rod up and force these sides out. I'm using a 9/16 socket, not that it really matters or that anyone cares, but if we got this in here right, this should start to get a lot harder really quickly. And then once we start to feel some real resistance, that's it. Yeah, it's getting a lot harder. You really don't want to snap one of these off because, like I said, once they're in there, they are in there. Ugh. All right, that's about as much as I dare go. So there you go. As you can see, these are completely awesome tools. I really like these things. There's really no comparison performance-wise between this and the hammer drill itself, Rotary Hammer. It's I wish I discovered these things years before I did. So thanks for watching. Like I said, don't claim to be an expert on concrete or masonry work, but I just wanted to make the video that I wanted to watch, but I had to figure out how to anchor stuff down myself. So thanks for watching. Have a good weekend, everybody.